What's going on, Ravens fans? Happy Monday morning to you. Happy Victory Monday morning to each and every one of you guys. It's a new day, and my voice still is not back. But I don't care. It's because I was screaming about the Week 10 matchup, the Week 10 victory on the road against the Minnesota Vikings, 27-19. Was it a perfect game? No, it was not. Did Lamar Jackson look perfect? No. Derrick Henry? No. The defense, they look great. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot to improve on, but there's still a lot to be excited about. It's Monday. That means it is time for overreactions. I'm going to give you 5 overreactions I've seen from Ravens fans, on social media, from Ravens players. And I'm going to tell you whether that's an overreaction or if we're okay to feel that way after the first 10 weeks of the season and after that Week 10 win against Minnesota. If you're happy the Ravens won, do me one big favor. Hit that thumbs up button and like today's video. If you've got a pulse, if you love the Ravens, I need you to like it. Because if that's true, you should be happy they won. So hit that thumbs up button. Number 1, our first overreaction I'm seeing. The Baltimore Ravens are back. I may be partaking in this exact same overreaction. And I'm kind of here to tell you guys, it does not feel like that's that big of an overreaction. Because their defense is finally playing the way it's supposed to. The way you thought it would going into the season. They're taking the football away. Malachi Starks is stepping up. Kyle Hamilton looks like the best player in the National Football League. Roquan Smith is back to making plays. The edge rushers, could they be better? Yeah, sure, but they get pressure every now and then on the quarterback. It just feels like this team's finally, like I said yesterday, playing with a little bit of swagger. Playing with a little bit of confidence, playing with a little bit of juice. And not only were you losing early in the season, it just felt like you were getting dominated physically, blown off the line of scrimmage, blown off the ball. Everybody was just out there absolutely bitching you all across the field. But that's not the case anymore. Guys, Justin Jefferson was pretty much a non-factor yesterday because you out-physicaled him. It was obvious. He didn't want that smoke. He didn't want that action. He didn't want that action, boss. No, he wasn't. And so it just feels like you're finally getting the version of the Baltimore Ravens that you were sold in the offseason. Of it's a defense that's fast, physical, they fly around, they don't make mistakes. And outside of that first drive of the game, I thought the defense played almost close to perfect football. And the offense, sure, there could be some things it still has to figure out. It's not perfect. We'll actually talk about that in overreaction number 3. But still, it's got Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. And I think they're going to be just fine. Number 2, Zach Orr got it figured out. I don't think it's an overreaction to say that right now. I think you should say Zach Orr probably got it figured out. I don't think this is a guarantee. Look, I've loved what I've seen from this defense. And I've loved what I've seen from Zach Orr. I thought yesterday's game against Minnesota was the best game he's called in his career. I was very, very impressed. John Harbaugh shared my exact same sentiment, talking about that in the post-game press conference, saying he's really proud of the game that Zach Orr called. I thought there was a lot of things he did that I was really, really impressed by and that I would have done the exact same if I was in his shoes. Now, I get it. It's ridiculous for me to be saying that and saying, Zach, I would have done that too, so that's a good job. I get it. I talk on YouTube for a living. I'm not a defensive coordinator in the National Football League. But I will say, after the first 5 weeks of the season, we talked about this a little bit last night, there were a lot of people, myself included, calling for Zach Orr's job. And I think he's proved those people, myself included, to be wrong over the first 10 weeks of the season. Now, you need to see it continue to build onto itself. You can't get a drop-off. This can't dip. You got to continue to win these ball games, and your defense has to continue to impress. But I feel really confident in where Zach Orr sits right now for the first year and a half in his career as a defensive coordinator. You think he's moved the needle? What's your confidence level in him? Scale for me 1 to 100 in that comment section down below. 100 saying you are all-time confident. 1 saying not really at all. Let me know in the comment section. I'm a little bit worried about the offense. Okay, this is overreaction number 3. I don't think this is an overreaction. A little worried about the offense late. Because we got to think about some of these games that we've seen so far this season. I think back to week 1. okay? All the Baltimore Ravens needed to do late was get a first down, and that game was over. It was over. And they couldn't do it. Week 3 against Detroit, they had the ball, and they were down 7 only. They had the ball once, down 4. Derrick Henry fumbled. Great stop by the defense, only a field goal by Detroit. They had the ball again, down 7, and they went like 3 and out. Fourth quarter. And then again in this game, you have the ball. You need a first down to win this game. It's 3rd and 4, and you can't get it. That's got me a little bit worried. That in these big games, it is so much about who can make the play late. And your defense ended up making it yesterday. But the offense had opportunities to be the side of the ball that made the play, that iced it, that won the ball game. Okay? I'm also a little bit worried about the red zone offense. I'm really worried about the goal line. That has showed to be very, very wishy-washy throughout the first course of the season. So, as much as I'm excited of the direction that this team is headed right now after week 10, I do still think there are some things to be worried about. Something you shouldn't worry about at all is our friends at Prize Picks. They're the sponsor of today's show. They're the reason you're watching it for free. They're the reason that I have a lot of fun every single weekend watching football. The hard-hitting football action is even better with Prize Picks. The weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old. So, keep the season rolling on Prize Picks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Prize Picks is the only app that offers stacks, meaning you can pick the same player up 3 times in the same lineup. Want to pick more on Lamar Jackson's pass yards, rush yards, and touchdowns? Now you can pick all of them in the same lineup only on Prize Picks. Follow other Prize Picks players directly on the app and copy their lineups in one click. Whether it's a friend, a celebrity partner, or just someone whose picks you like, hit the follow button and check out every lineup they create. The new feed tab on Prize Picks. Here's my Prize Picks lineup for Sunday's game against Minnesota. And if you would have flex played it, which Prize Picks invented the flex play, it means only 2 things have to win in order for you to cash in. Of course, J.J. McCarthy got to more than 16.5 rush yards. Big rush late in that game is the one that got it more. And then Derrick Henry, more than 2.5-yard long reception. I think he had a reception of 3 yards and then one later in the game of like 8. So, boom, that one's good as well. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Links to this promo is in the comments and description of today's video. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Number 4, Derrick Henry can't do it. I think that's an overreaction. I do. I think Derrick Henry still has all the capabilities in the world in being a dominant running back in this league. I worry more about the offensive line. If I'm being 100% truthful with you. Look, your guards aren't good enough. And when you don't have good guards, it struggles heavily in the run. Okay? Just plain and simple. It's obvious. When you cannot push defenders off their blocks as an offensive line, you will not be able to run the football. I don't care if it's Derrick Henry. I don't care if it's Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith, Walter Payton, a mixture of all 4 of them. You won't be able to run the football. And so I think something needs to happen. I think Todd Monken might need to adjust some things in the way this team runs the ball, but I think they got to go off tackle. I do. I think they have to switch things up and pretty much just run off tackle for the rest of this season because you cannot run inside. You get dominated every single week. Overreaction number 5. You can go undefeated for the rest of the year. Obviously, if it was just undefeated, that would be an overreaction because it would be impossible. And I'm here to tell you this, guys. This is not an overreaction. I know. That sounds crazy. I get it. You're probably thinking I'm a homer, and you might be right. But coming up, you play the Browns. They just lost to the Jets. You play the Jets. They've only won 2 games. You play the Bengals. They are horrible. You play the Steelers at home. You play the Bengals again. Patriots might be your hardest game left. And then you play the Packers and then the Steelers. Every single one of those ball games you can win if you continue to play complementary football. That's all you got to do. And it seems like right now you got the team to be able to do that. I want you to fill in the blank for me. The Ravens in with a record of what? Let me know in the comment section down below. What do you think the Ravens' record is to end the season? If they win every game here on out, they're going to end up 12-5. I think right now I would feel confident in saying 10-7. Gage, where do you sit? Gage says 11-6. Good enough for me. All right, another thing that's good enough for me, if you guys follow me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, I'm on both platforms, and make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Daily content right here at the Baltimore Ravens Rundown. We'll have another video later today. We'll want to have one out tomorrow morning. We got you covered all year long. So subscribe.